All right,
Whatever. Chema, hit the damn intro.
I have to just, if you allow me a moment to just celebrate, I'm gonna just put this on and, uh, and,
What are you
love you,
celebrating?
Rocky. What am I celebrating? I'm celebrating that my beloved Dodgers just went through the championship series after beating the Phillies, that the Yankees are out, and we're going to the semifinals. So, you know, back-to-back tournaments. Here we go. Dodgers on five. Let's fucking go. At least I have a victory to celebrate, unlike you with this movie. Thank you for welcoming us into your headphones. My name is Shema. Do your thing,
Go
chicken
fuck
wing.
yourself. I'm leaving.
Do your thing.
All right, I'm Eddie, who actually has decent taste in films and your facial hair and actual hair in a better room. Just throwing that out there.
I have hair. What are you talking about?
My hair's better than your hair.
We have the same exact hair.
I wear
Yours
it
is just
better.
a bit longer.
I wear it better.
This is reviewing the Conjuring last rites. This is the rollback. The
Folks,
case that ended it all. Paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren take on one last terrifying case involving mysterious entities they must confront. The last Conjuring movie to close out the story, directed by Michael Chavez, who previously directed The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, The Nun 2, and The Curse of La Llorona, starring Vera Farmiga, Patrick Wilson, Mia Tomlinson, Ben Hardy, Rebecca Calder, Tilly Walker, and other colorful characters and lovely cameos. So, gonna close out the Conjuring universe, the Conjureverse, as some people as are calling it, and by some people, I mean like, two. And yeah, I'm excited to see what we have to say because our relationships with this franchise and with these movies are very different. We both agree that Conjuring 1 and 2 are some of the coolest, dopest, sleekest, most special horror movies made of let's say at this I don't know, generation, millennium, what do
I
you want
would
to
say
call it?
this side of the century. I would say The Conjuring is probably, and maybe I'm overhyping it, but I would argue The Conjuring is the closest thing that we have to an impactful horror film as to The Exorcist in the what, 70s, 80s? If pre the year 2000 horror belonged to The Exorcist, post 2000 horror belongs to The Conjuring.
I am inclined to agree. I am on record saying that I think the first Conjuring and the second Conjuring were deserved of a Best Picture nomination. I think they were that good and that special, and
Mhm.
so memorable too because they created, well, not created, but brought into fiction and collective consciousness, characters like Annabelle and both Warrens. I mean they're real, but in movie form. You know,
Correct me if I'm wrong. Am I the second Conjuring movie vaguely covered the Amityville horror, right?
correct, yeah.
I remember the very beginning. It man, the fact that they were so loaded with cases that they were like, this iconic haunting that redefined American horror that made an entire film series. That's gonna be our opening shot for like 5 minutes. Have fun.
Yeah, it was very confident that it was all due to, the very talented hands of one James Wan. However, one decided to, choose the money over the cheddar and
Or he
went
wanted
over
to
to
challenge himself,
DC.
like all great directors sometimes do. They want to challenge themselves and try something different. So he
Well,
did Fast and Furious and Aquaman.
so he did Fast and Furious and Aquaman 2, and right in the middle he did what's that movie that I loved?
Malignant.
Malignant, which I adored, and but he decided to leave it all to his protege Michael Chavez to keep on going with the Conjuring franchise, and it's not the same. It's not terrible, but it's not as good as the first two. We're gonna have to agree on that. Like it's not as special as when one is handling these movies. However, Chavez has proved himself. He's done enough of these Conjuring movies to carry on. I'm on the record saying that I like the last Conjuring, like the third one, but now having seen this one, I think that one is kind of the bottom tier of these Conjuring movies. I think this one is better than the third one,
Oh, by
but it's
miles.
not but it's not
Miles.
as good as the first two.
You're
And
you're partially right on that. I will partially agree with you on that one.
I think the first two Conjurings really took themselves seriously. You know, they wanted to be that like special, like a spooky, genuinely like there were parts of the movie where like you have to kind of watch it with your eyes closed because you're generally terrified. And I think after the Nun movies, this movie stopped being movies that you were worried when it started with a based on true events thing, and now you're like, these are just fun monster movies.
Oh yeah.
And I enjoy that, I don't have a problem with that. But no, they keep trying to imply that this is real, but I'm not going to tell them that they're not, because I have respect for the dead, especially to these people who appear to be quite lovely. So,
They're based enough on real cases. I would say
yeah,
that. I wouldn't say everything's accurate, but there were some shocking things in this that I was like, holy shit, that actually happened. I know that happened. I can't believe they covered that.
yeah.
Um,
My big thing with this movie, since they sold it as like the last one, like this is the case that made them stop. My big problem with this movie, and it's going to echo throughout the entire review, is that there's nothing about this particular case that feels way dangerous than the previous ones, except the fact that now their daughter is involved. But
I
she's been involved in like the last three, four movies, so I don't even know, what's the difference now.
All right. Okay, John, hold on. You give me a second.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm gonna take a
yeah, yeah,
swig. I'm gonna take a
yeah. Go.
swig.
Go, please, please, please.
Let me tell you how wrong you are about this. I'm looking at my
Okay.
mic. I'm not even looking at my screen. I'm looking at my mic right now. Let me tell you how wrong you are
Yeah.
about this, man. Let me tell you something. To start, was this movie as good as the first two? No. Was this movie a good final chapter? Yes. There's a big difference. A lot of films don't nail the ending, the going out sequence of it. Not everything can be a John Wick quadrilogy where you nail all four of them, right? That's fair.
Mhm.
The last rites, no. Devil Made Me Do It was actually supposed to be the last one, but they realized, this blows. We need to do this right. We need to give it one more shot. Now, I'm not sure if it sucked because of COVID filming and whatnot. It got too stupid, the third one. So they do this back to basics on some level, but also forging new ground on some level. When you say that, oh, it doesn't feel like this case was any more dangerous than the other cases, it's their age. And I make this comparison in my video review. This give Ed Warren in this movie gives me Top Gun Maverick F1 vibes. The old man, can he step up one last time for this one last case? Because he's older, he has heart problems. He can't keep doing this. He's done it for seemingly what 20 years since their daughter's been alive. He
Mhm.
can't continue, and so that begs the question: can we go forward with this? Additionally, Lorraine Warren, I like the story arc that she goes down. It's a bit obvious, but I like her story as far as she's she has this gift, right, as being a medium. But she doesn't want that for her daughter. So she tells her daughter the worst thing you can tell a kid that has a special talent, hey, suppress that shit because I don't want you to go down that dark path. I don't want you to have to deal with the same problems I've dealt with. But instead of teaching her daughter how to control it, she just says suppress it, hoping that that'll be enough. I like those story arcs. I like how I'd argue Ed and Lorraine Warren are more human in this film than in any of the other films. Additionally, I like the fact that well, you're right. This case seemingly is no more dangerous other than the fact that it has their daughter, but there's a very clear escalation in this. Their daughter is hanging from the roof, from the raptors in the attic by the end of the film, and they're trying to cut her down and save her life. The movie ends with one of the most I would say ballsy, terrifying sequences with a child being stillborn, which is terrifying, not as a parent, as a human being. That's scary. And here's the thing. I didn't know if they were actually going to kill off the kid and it'd be like, oh, Judy's their second child because their first
Yeah.
child was stillborn. I didn't know enough about them to be able to be able to call bullshit. And it would be within, especially this year, in horror, I wouldn't be surprised if they killed off a kid. So I'm like, are they going there with that? And then they continue on from there. I think also one of the biggest strengths of the fact of this movie is the fact that there is no sequel baiting in this. Yes, it is possible that they may do prequels. Yes, it is possible that Judy may go on and have her own adventures. But The first Conjuring only had, Bathsheba, and that's it. The second one had the nun as the main protagonist, as the main antagonist, but we also have the Crooked Man, who hopefully now they'll do a sequel because this movie did gangbusters in the box office. But if you remember the third Annabelle film, there was what? There was the samurai, there was the bride's dress, there was a werewolf, there was a mirror demon. There were all these different things in the third Annabelle film, which I think kind of petered out people. They were like, oh God, they're just sequel baiting now. This movie went back to basics and didn't have that. Additionally, there was a lot of familiarity in this if you compare it to the first one or even the second one, with scene where mother goes into basement to do laundry and is isolated and has to deal with the ghosty. Scene where they do the tracking shot in the house. Scene where Ed cooks for the family because it's comforting. All these
Yeah.
things that happen and continue to happen. This movie is a perfect hell no. Is it the right send-off? Yeah, I would say so. It's cheesy, but I think it's cheesy in all the right parts.
Look, we've agreed that when it comes to cheese,
More than
that's
that.
my shit, you know?
Yeah.
Like I watch these movies more for Ed and Lorraine being just cutie
Cute.
patooties than I do for like, the horror, which the movie gave me plenty of. And it was kind of fun to see, Ed in full dad mode, you know? It was kind of fun to see Ed in full like dad-in-law like dad mode, you know? Not gonna lie, that was I think the best some of the fun part in the movie. Like when the guy comes in and asks for the daughter's hand, and Lorraine is like, "Oh my God, of course we say yes," and Ed is like,
She doesn't speak for me.
"God, like give me a goddamn second." Like, you know. Also, if I was that very brave boy, if I was him, I
Mhm.
wouldn't do that in a house that has demons stuck in like right under my feet, you know?
I don't think he
Like
knew at that point. Oh no, he did. He did. He did.
he did. He took the tour, you know? Which I fucking love that the Warrens have like dinner parties and they're like, "Do you want to come down to our basement?" Like, like as a tour, like as a house tour, you know?
But
Like,
I also like the throwback of, and yeah, I don't know if it's fair to call it a throwback, but it feels like
yeah,
something Ed said a million times. So of course he would say it. Do not touch anything in here. Everything here has been used in a possession, something, or
yeah,
a ritual. Nothing's a toy, not even the toys. You hear
yeah,
that in the very first Conjuring film, right? With the young reporter and he's trying to educate people. And you hear it now and you hear the exhaustion in his voice.
yeah,
You hear how tired he is. And
yeah,
that just no, that does nothing but play a role, which is insane because do you remember how built Patrick Wilson was for Aquaman 2? And then he
yeah.
goes straight into this. Like, I know for a
Yeah.
fact you could beat up those demons. I know for a fact you'd beat the shit out of the Annabelle doll.
Yeah, and that I think speaks well of them because both Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga, like they have cultivated this chemistry since the first Conjuring came out. Like they know how to work around each other. They know how to embody these characters like better than anyone else. Like no one's going to come in and if they make a choice, we know it's the right choice, you
Yeah.
know? And the makeup works, the clothes work, even them starting you said it ballsy like the fact that it starts with them giving a talk at a college and like the kids are just not scared by this.
Are you
they compare
Ghostbusters?
Yeah, they compared it to Ghostbusters like because it's the 80s, like times have changed, like they are a relic of their own time, but it's kind of cool to start to see them transcend and turn into stay-at-home grandparents that like eventually just we just visit them but we don't let the kids go down the basement.
Not till
uh
they're ready.
not till
Uh,
they're ready. And I
you,
like that. I like seeing those parts of them. Um, I have a feeling that because I'm not like a super huge fan of this franchise, that there are things that I miss. Like for example, there's a scene in the dinner party. I don't keep calling it a dinner party. It was more like a barbecue. Where
yeah.
like they have this barbecue and there's like all these characters like grilling meat and like hanging around. Apparently those were cameos from like the previous movies.
Yeah, I was like, the
I
cop
didn't
was there, the
know.
one with the scar. He's like, I was there on the front line.
Yeah, I don't remember that guy.
Yeah, he's from the
And
first one when he walks out the toilet. He's like, "What?" And then
oh,
you
that
have
guy.
that
Yeah.
guy that was flirting with the other girl at the wedding. Like you
Oh
see
yeah, the wedding I
previous
recognize the
cases.
cameos.
James Wan's in that
Even
shot.
yeah, James Wan is in the wedding. Yeah.
I was so happy.
Uh
Can I tell you the circumstances when I watched this movie? Because I'm so excited to tell you about
oh,
this.
please, please, please. Yeah.
Okay, I watched this movie with Ollie while he was asleep on my chest.
Okay. Oh my God. And you
So
watched this? You watched the first one when? Like how old were you when you watched the first one?
18, 19. I
Oh
went with
my
my mom to the
God.
theaters to watch it. I went with my mom and my sisters because we wanted to
Oh
watch
my
it.
God.
But,
Jesus.
oh, but okay, okay, wait. So I
Yeah.
watched this with Ollie on my chest, meaning that if I got scared, he would wake up. So I had to like death grip something. Even when shit that I saw coming scared me, I had to be like, okay, can't wake him up. And guess what time I watched this movie at?
Like a night, I'm guessing.
In the morning,
Like how
4
early?
a.m.
4 a.m. in the morning.
I woke up at 3:50 so I could watch the movie because I knew I wanted to watch it in one shot, uninterrupted, with no problems, no go make something, go pick something up. It's like, no, fuck that. These 2 hours, I'm gonna sit down and watch my movie, and Ollie's gonna go Mimi's.
All right.
It was awesome. I loved it. I loved every second of it. I loved the corniness. I loved the cameos. If I can say, I think the only issue of the four Conjuring movies, again, numbers one and two are head above and shoulders the best. The third one, I would argue, like the whole family aspect, that dynamic is pretty weak. This family gives it a good try, but they're not as good as the first two families as far as like dynamic or interesting or anything like that. They have a really harsh scene when the girl eats glass by
Yeah.
accident. That sucks. But I can't find myself caring for them as much as the families from the first two.
It feels like it's trying to do a retread of that, especially the first one.
Yeah.
In like a family like the first one in a house like the second one, because it's a smaller house.
Yeah.
And my friend Jimmy, our friend Jimmy, has this coined this term, which is this is Yu-Gi-Oh world,
Hmm.
which is you know how in Yu-Gi-Oh everyone cares about card games?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like every once in a while you'll see a movie and you're like, why does everyone care about this? And it's like they live in a Yu-Gi-Oh world. They live in a world where like everything revolves around this. Same
Hmm.
thing in like the movie Tar, where like everyone in the world cares about classical music and compose and band directors. Of course
Uh,
they do. It's the most important issue of our time. And like because that moment where like they come to the house and all the reporters are like, "Oh my God, Ellen Lorraine Warren, Ellen Lorraine Warren are here." Like they're like they live in a world where this is the most important and pressing issue at the time. Also, it was the 80s, so you know what was the worst thing that was happening? Mm, you know,
Reagan? Yeah, Reagan.
I was gonna say disco, but okay. Um, yeah. Anyway, yeah, I guess Reagan. Yeah, so they were there and they were undergoing, you know, what they're going. So it's cool that we got to see a world that was focused on that. And you know me, I love seeing a movie with no phones, no technology, and because it's the 80s, it's a lot easier. Um, I am, I like the Warren scene here. I do feel like the daughter is just, you know, teenage daughter rebelling, like going through a phase. She's kind, but there's kind of not more going on her other than that. I want you to like my boyfriend.
Hmm.
She's kind of like, you know, she's kind of like the daughter in Ant-Man 3. It's like, well, they're kind of undergoing like the same kind of
Well,
thing.
but no, but
Except this
remember,
one has
she
a
is also
boyfriend, yeah.
trying to deal with like the engagement, like my boyfriend, her powers. She keeps like
Yeah.
having these issues where it's like they keep popping
There's
up.
a good, there's a really good scene with the when she's trying on dresses,
Yeah,
the mirror scene. That was good. That I thought was really had sauce.
yeah,
Yeah. But for example, I didn't care about like the demons in this movie. Like they looked like killers in a Dead by Daylight game. Like they didn't look
yeah,
they're not as impactful as like a nun was on the second one. Remember when we first saw the second nun and like the second Conjuring, and we just see like that scene with the daughter, like, "Mom, who is that?" And she just points, and like the nun is just standing there. Like we're never gonna have like a scare that good again or a reveal that good again of a demon because this one's they look a little too generic. Like the killer in the underside of the house or like the older demon like they look kind of generic, and that I thought was like a real problem there.
I liked so every mo again, with the exception of the third one, the
Yeah,
first every Conjuring has like a really good reveal to me at least of the initial ghost, right? So we have Bathsheba on top of the dresser, right? And she jumps down the little girl. We have the nun, right, where she appears at the end, and then the painting. We have Bill Wilkinson in the screen of the TV in the second one. In
Yeah.
this one, I actually did like how we saw the farmer in the corner, and like the mom was like, "What the fuck is that?" And he never moved. He was just there, and he never moved. I actually did like that aspect of it. The other two ghosties were kind of mid, I would say. It was primarily the guy that was the evil one.
Yeah.
I will say this though, in case there's any part of you that was wondering, the part where the father is, I'm going to use the word assaulted,
Yeah.
is accurate.
Okay.
And how much do you know about the actual haunting of this place?
Not at all.
Slightly different house. It was in more of a suburb environment, but besides that, the mother and the father were both assaulted in that way multiple times. Um, Hence all the reporting and whatnot. Um, One of the other aspects that people don't really mention is the physical abuse that happened to the kids in the house when at the hands of the ghost, right? Like that was part of the issue. And I guess maybe because that's like a hard topic to discuss, but there were some things that were not mentioned that maybe would have made this movie worse because the father being straddled, it's only kind of implied versus you actually like the aftermath of the assault.
Okay.
So that was accurate.
And oof.
Yeah, the Smurl family
Well,
was a tough one.
what do you think about the mirror? Because I think they're trying to make the mirror into like a new big like thing that like stands out from the movie. Um,
I I feel like I didn't care for the mirror if I'm being honest with you. Like they didn't really use it much. It was like that mirror carries something scary, but it didn't feel like an imposing force, if that makes sense. The
yeah,
glass was cool though. The part where the girl's like pulling glass out of her mouth when she was eating cereal, that's legit. Keep that.
yeah. Um, and you mentioned cheese and that scene at the end where like both Warrens and like the daughter are like use like their combined strengths to like push the mirror, and it's supposed to be this big family moment. I enjoy that scene, even if it's a little cheesy. I like that. I think my favorite part is that the fact that the boyfriend is like under it, like being pushed with the mirror
Yeah.
and being like, yeah, keep going, yeah, keep going, yeah, but just like that.
No, no, don't help
Uh,
me. I'm just here dying. I'm just choking me out.
yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, I will say this. I was ready to dismiss the boyfriend, and have him be, just doy, dumb boyfriend, just asking dumb questions. But when he mentions his backstory, that he was a cop and that he retired because he he it was I hate to say this, but it's kind of brave, like what he did. Like realized he did not want it to die in the line of business. Like he wanted to prefer to live.
Yeah.
That I thought was really good. And I like that moment when he's talking with Ed and Ed is making pancakes and he's like, "So do you always, make pancakes?" It's just like sometimes I make waffles. Like
He's still trying to
like
be serious. He's like,
yeah.
you're a good kid, but you're still dating my daughter, so you still get like boyfriend treatment for a while.
Yeah, like,
Which
just
is the first
get
time he's meeting them, which is nuts.
yeah,
Like
also.
the first time you're gonna meet your girlfriend's parents, you're like, hey, I want to propose.
Yeah, no, don't do that. And I like how they're like, because Ed is like, well, they're super young, and Lorraine is like, well, we were young too. It's like, no, it was a different time. Like it was a
I was going to
different time.
war.
Yeah.
Oh
Um,
man.
no, I think there was still ending. No, something funny, just a slight small thing. So I watched. So when you see a movie here in Mexico, you see it. You have the option of seeing it in English with Spanish subtitles, or you can see it like dubbed in Spanish.
Mhm.
I watched it in English, with the Spanish subtitles. They made a joke that kind of only worked in the subtitles. In that moment when he's making like the pancakes.
Huh.
Like he flips them and he puts them and he goes like it was like why do you do this? Like why do you come in and start fixing like their house and like do all the and he explains like before we fix that we have to fix this like from the inside like
Yeah.
makes them feel at home like like they come home they read to them they play songs for them like they become like a little part of their family for a bit,
Yeah.
in order to will get accommodated to the house and everything. And he never explains that process, but if you go and rewatch the other movies, like you do see like them just coming in and Lorraine starts like setting up like laundry and shit, like it's nice, like they become they're very nurturing.
Uh,
um
the phrase it
but
reminds me of is country bumpkins.
yeah, they are.
Like they're
They're
they're here to
nice, yeah.
help, and but they need to help in multiple ways. I
Yeah,
think.
but there's a line that's in the subtitles where he goes like, primero al diente y después al ente, which rhymes,
Mhm.
but it means like first the tooth. It literally translates to first the tooth and then the ghost, which,
Makes
it's,
sense, I think.
which, it's not a thing that people say, but like it rhymes, so it's cute. It's like primero al diente y después al ente. Like it's cute. It's cute if you're like, if you're bilingual, I guess. Um, why do we do this show in English? Why?
Because I can't do it in
Because you
Spanish.
couldn't do it. Anyway, back to this. No, yeah. So I like that we got to that conclusion. I like that they helped the family. I even like that there is a wedding at the end, and that I was afraid that the movie was because it was the last one. It was going to include like they're both dead by now. So I would
Yeah.
include they would include that. But no, I'm glad that they, like I mentioned in the Mission Impossible review, sometimes it's just neat to see the hero ride off into the sunset. And it's nice here too.
I would say this. I feel like they earned it, unlike Ethan Hunt. They earned when she's telling him about all her visions, and she's like, and this, blah 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 blah, and this, blah 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 blah, and this, and we write our book, and it's as bad as you think it's gonna be, and
Yeah.
we're home, and we help people over the phone, and we call them, and we do our best, and we have all these grandkids that come and visit, every Sunday, and like all this cheese. And it's
Yeah.
like it's just nice to know that they got their rewards, if that makes sense. Like they got their family, they had their happiness, they had their moments, right? Even when they couldn't no longer keep physically going that.
Yeah.
Also, weird, real quick, I want to talk about something. The balls to have a priest hang himself
Oh yeah.
in a church.
That was
Jesus.
bossy.
Sanctimonious. Man, that was
Yeah.
nuts. That was nuts to me.
That scene felt more like something out of The Nun than something out of this. So it was, yeah, quite chilling.
This movie did a really good balance of like shocking moments, jump scares, horror that you see come in, creepy moments, but also heartfelt warmness and cheese. Like that's what makes these Conjuring movies, right? Sometimes you see it coming, it's still scary. Sometimes, you get the warm fuzzies.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like
Is that what the
no,
What was that?
go ahead, go ahead.
No, you first.
I was gonna say that it's not. I kind of want if you're gonna make a sequel to a movie, I think it kind of has to improve on it,
Mhm.
and because of that, I can't like give this a really high score. I can't. I
You're
can't.
saying it's
I'm
not
gonna.
better than the third one?
It is better than the third one, but it's not better than the first two. And while I do like the closure, I do like the cheese, I do like Ed and Lorraine together. It's it's not. Didn't blow my mind. It didn't. It met my expectations, but my expectations were low from the previous movie. So, it's not gonna end up in my top 10.
Mhm.
But it does close out the book nicely. I cannot imagine like being a person that's never seen this and then like sitting down to watch this for the first time and like, being maybe they're gonna take it like a lot better if you're watching it this in sequence. I don't know. I have a coworker that recently watched all the Harry Potter movies for the first time in his life. Like for the first time, I know.
Yeah.
And he just came in after seeing the last one, and he's like, "Yo, what the fuck? Like that was awesome! Like, why isn't anyone talking about this?" And it's like, "You're 20 years late, man." But okay, like you're 18 years late, but okay, go off, King. But yeah, so maybe it's going to work a lot better when you're watching this in sequence. I don't know. I don't know how much also is nostalgia. Like the first two are good, but they were really good when they came out. So there's that as well. I'm going to stick The Conjuring Last Rites at 3 out of 5 stars.
Hmm.
it was gonna be 2.5, but after talking about it, I'm gonna bump it up to three just because I can't dislike the cheese. I can't. And Patrick Wilson, Vera Farmiga, they're pitch perfect, like as always. Like I love that we've seen them age and we've seen them grow. Like I love that moment. I think it's in the first one or the second one where she goes like, "Remember what I told you in our wedding night?" And he goes, "Can we do that again?"
Yeah.
Like, like I love moments like that. Like I love them, but this movie has enough of them now being, parents and letting their daughter marry and everything. So I like it because of that. The spook aspect has a couple of hits, but not enough home runs. So I'm gonna stick that movie with a 3 out of 5.
I have a question.
Generous. I think it's generous. Yeah, go ahead.
I have a question. Do you think Ed and Lorraine Warren, this version, right, Patrick,
Yeah.
Greg Formiga and Patrick Wilson, do you think are they now? I would feel comfortable saying this. Are they horror's first like couple? Like the first Scream
Horror's
Queen?
first marriage. Horror first marriage. Like the first couple of horror. That's not bad, man. That's uh
Because I
that's
can't
pretty fucking good, you know?
because I can't think of another like even I can't think of another film series in general where like the main characters are married and they work so well. Because there's never been a moment in any of the films where they have like fought or like thought they were gonna separate or anything like that. There's nothing but love in that marriage. So I can't
Yeah.
think of another marriage that's as well defined. And even in in fiction, now that I think about it,
Yeah.
it's such a well-defined marriage. Like you can call Lois and Clark like the first couple of comics, fair enough. But like their relationship, I'd argue, has never really been done justice very well until very recently with Superman.
Hmm.
Like they might be the first couple of horror, the first marriage of horror.
I'm comfortable saying that, yeah.
Oh,
And they should be
um,
celebrated because
huh?
of that. So
Oh,
they should be celebrated because of that, yeah.
definitely. Um, but
Like
yeah,
when we talk about like years down the line when we go like one of the best couples in fiction, like let's throw these two into the ring, you know?
that they definitely have earned their spot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. For me, at least, this movie is. So I remember telling you this a long time ago. The Conjuring universe has been probably the only film series that can consistently scare me, right? It's not. I look for movies that scare me, and it's hard to find them, man.
Hmm.
Um, the Conjuring universe is the only universe where it's been consistent, where I can sit down and watch one of them and be like, "This is good. I like this. This made me go, oh no." It's and this movie, I sat down ready to be scared and ready for this adventure, and I was so looking forward to it, and I was so happy that it didn't disappoint me. And it's fair to say maybe if the third one was good, I would have had been more critical of this film. But the
Yeah.
fact that I was so disappointed with part three, and this movie gave me new gave re helped me refine my love for this universe, I have to praise it. For me, at least, it's gonna easily be. You're not gonna like the score, a 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10.
This will
Okay.
definitely be on my top 10 list, and I will definitely look forward to rewatching this, as I do most of the Conjuring franchise.
Awesome. Awesome. That is great. Like I mentioned, I like this movie. I just the bar is so high with the first two.
That's fair.
Uh
And you're
I
not wrong. I
yeah.
agree with you totally on that.
Yeah, but I did enjoy the goodbye. I did enjoy the time we spent with them. I've been saying this since the third one, but you know, I think one of my favorite things that I've said in this show is when we
Mhm.
reviewed the third one, and
Mhm.
we talked about like these two are some of the smartest. Like they're supposed to be like this big brain shit, like intellectual, like a ghost hunter. They can sense shit going on, and like Lorraine can't tell that he's building a fucking gazebo in the back when he surprises it with her. With her, I mean, still to me that's like pat on the back. One of my favorite jokes that I've made on this show. Like you're so you can tell when a ghost is strangling your daughter 2 countries away, but you can't tell that your husband is hammering and like doing shit in the back, like
Caught
blind
love, man.
bitch.
Caught love.
Anyway, anyway, blind bitch. Okay. No, that's not a dick. That's not a dick. I'm sorry, Lorraine. I'm sorry.
I
Um,
was like, that's kind of
sorry,
harsh,
Lorraine.
but okay.
Sorry, Lorraine Warren. That's what we
Your national
call
treasure, we apologize.
a
No, Shamba apologizes.
jest.
Not we, him. He apologizes.
Yeah. That's what we call a jest. You wanna come in and like scare me from beyond the grave? You're gonna have to go to customs first. Thank you so much for joining us on this podcast. Next week, what are we reviewing next week?
Uh, I don't know. It's still spooky season. I
Can
want
you
to do something
do
spirit related.
you? Oh, I would love to do Good Boy, but it's not out here yet.
Let's see. Have we ever reviewed Sinister
No, we haven't.
or The Long
But
Walk? Let's see. Let me. There are some options.
I
Trick or
can do the
Treat.
long walk. I already saw it.
Okay. You want to do a long walk? There's The Long Walk, Trick or Treat, Sinister.
Let's do the long walk. I think there's gonna be a really interesting talk for that one. And I spoilers, I quite enjoyed it, and I feel like you're going to as well. I think you're gonna cry with this one.
We'll see about that.
Yeah.
We'll see about that.
Um, yeah. So but yeah, let's look forward to the long walk next week. Thank you so much everyone for joining us. My name was Chema,
And I've been Eddie.
and this was the rollback signing off with a reminder to, keep doubting, what's out there, keep questioning. But if someone offers to play a Ouija board with you, you say no and you go home. Good night.
Cowards.